friends. Okay, so today's video, I thought it'd be super fun to interview my mom, who is here for my son Jacob's first communion. They drove all the way from Minnesota to be with us, and I thought that it would be super fun to ask you guys over on Instagram if you wanted to ask my mom any questions. She has had 8 children, and she is about Catholic. She raised us Catholic. For as long as I remember, we would pray the rosary and just help me to fall in love with the Catholic faith. So I thought it'd be kind of fun to see if you guys had any questions. And boy, did you guys have a lot of questions. So a lot of them are very similar, so I'm not going to get to all of them, but I'm kind of going to like group them together. And I hope that you enjoy this video. My mother is amazing. She has taught me a lot about the Catholic faith, and I think a lot of people who are faithful, a lot of times I would say, like, start when they're little, you know, like with their parents teaching them. I think it's really important to teach the faith in the home, and sometimes that's not how it works. Like your conversion happened. She grew up in the Catholic faith, mm-hmm. And your conversion happened. Was it engaged encounter?
Yes. Well, I started looking into the faith a lot before that, Bible studies and stuff. I was trying to think about that. Engaged encounter, or no, not engaged, marriage encounter. I had a huge conversion where I literally asked God, what he wanted me to do. Oh, no, I did what the man told us to do. We went back into our motel room, and he said, I want you to look in the mirror, and I want you to say, I love you. I love you, I love you, I love you. And it was more or less God telling us that he loves us. And pretty soon after saying that several times, I started to believe that God really did love me. And he loved me in such a deep way that it literally changed me. I wept, and I'm going to start tearing up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's awesome to know how much God loves you. I think when you understand how much God loves you, it's overwhelming because he's so almighty and so amazing, right?
I think it's really believing that he loves you.
Yeah.
You know, really believing, and don't stop until you really believe. Keep working on that. Mm-hmm. Believing, and mm-hmm. the more you know him, the more you understand that he loves you, no matter what.
Yeah, loves all of us. Amazing.
Yeah.
So she has so much wisdom, so I'm excited to hear what she has to say. Mm-hmm. And like I said, there were a lot of questions, so we're gonna try to get through a lot of these and stuff. But I'll just get started. What did she do when her little ones were anxious? I have a 10-year-old, and he's so anxious. Any suggestions?
The only thing that I can think of is because I have a daughter that was very anxious, and praying the rosary or praying the Hail Mary, you know, something very simple, very calming, and just reassuring, and sitting with them. And I think the anxiety, it takes a lot of time to really help them to feel loved, and you do that with time, and then to just ask Mary to pray with you, you know, to help you. That's the only thing I can think of right now.
I know we have a niece. I have a niece, and you gave her a miraculous medal to mm-hmm. Maddie. And I've heard that, like, the miraculous medal is called the miraculous medal because of so many conversions and help with anxiety and just, like, all around, like, really.
It's huge.
Yeah, it's powerful.
It really is. I had a huge experience with that. I had, when my kids were little, I had a daughter who was just really giving me a hard time. And I had a miraculous medal, and I prayed it and just asked her, what should I do? I mean, I could tell you the whole little story, but what should I do about this? And I got an idea, and it was miraculous because it worked. But that medal actually really changed my life. It changed me. It changed my love for God, and his love was more accepted by me in my mistakes and in my sinfulness and in my just not having knowledge about him.
Yeah, didn't you find your first medal in the ground?
I did.
Tell them the story.
I was on an Al-Anon retreat, And I was just sitting on a sidewalk, and I was digging in the dirt right in front of me with a stick, and all of a sudden there was this just little tiny metal, really beautiful. It was very small, kind of copper colored, and I asked the lady sitting next to me, do you know, wow, what is this? Do you know what this is? And she knew it was a miraculous metal, and she had a little book at home that told you about the miraculous metal, and she would give it to me. She gave it to me, and this was such a beautiful book because it was in such simplicity, and it was in such a way that I have longed and looked for that book since then and have not found it, because I then gave my mother the miraculous medal because it had a profound effect on me. The miraculous medal did. I highly recommend that. And in fact, right now with the struggles going on in our world, I give them to any of my grandchildren, especially if they're 5 and older, unless I think they're mature enough to have a necklace, because I feel like Our Lady will protect them in ways that we don't know.
Yeah.
We just don't understand or know what could be around the corner.
Yeah. What was Heather like as a child?
She was a very happy, sweet little girl. One little thing, she must have been like 3 or 4, and we went to the 4th of July. We walked like 5 or 6 blocks, and we walked back, and she had some new sandals on, and her feet were all blistered, and she had never, ever complained or said a word, and I was just like, so sad for her with those blistered feet, and I had no idea. She never said anything, so very, very good and happy and upbeat, and you know, all of my children were very different, and I think that when you think that you have figured out, you know, this motherhood, all of a sudden he throws a wrench in there, and you're like, what? I don't know what to do with this one, and how to handle it, and you know, it's kind of the wild card. And if you're only going to get 3 kids, you might just get one of the 3. You know, if you get 8, you might get 1 or 2 of those.
What are your thoughts on the Latin Mass?
I love the Latin Mass. I think it's very, very beautiful. I love the incense, the reverence, just the real beauty of all of it. It's so, so lovely. I don't know how to speak Latin, and so I struggle. I want to go there often, but I struggle with wanting to also understand every word that is being said there, because I don't want to miss a word. I want to know and be able to, I try to shut my eyes and literally hear every word that's being said. And then oftentimes I will say, yes, that is what I want. Yes, that is what I want, as you're speaking. So that's my only struggle with the Latin Mass, is in the future I'd like to maybe take some Latin classes or lessons, or, you know, learn some Latin so that I could very much enjoy a Latin Mass.
Yeah, I would too. I'm not very good with language, but
I'm not either.
my husband is. I wish I was. That'd be a cool one to be. No. What are some of your favorite prayers? And what are some ways to raise holy Catholic children? A lot of people ask how to raise good Catholic holy children.
Yeah. Well, some of my favorite prayers are the St. Bridget 12-year prayer. Mm-hmm. Very beautiful. My friend started us on it. She started me and 2 other friends on it. And you can choose 3 people that you're specifically praying for. It will help you change your life, as most prayer does. And especially when you make sacrifices for other people, to continue that 12-year prayer. It's written on it too, on the 12 years, what the promises are. It's very, very beautiful. How to raise devout Catholic children? Yeah,
what are some ways to raise holy Catholic children? Do you have any specific spiritual devotions? Oh, for your faith. But yeah, the children. We'll do the children.
Okay. I can only say that you can do your best in whatever situation you find yourself in raising good, holy Catholic children. As to your own prayer life is extremely important, your Bible studies, all the ways that you seek God. So what I think about is, if you asked your child what are 3 things that would describe you as their mom, what would they say? And you would hope one of them would be your love of God, or prayer, or faith, or, you know what I mean? So that can help you with finding a way to start as to how do people describe me? What are 3 things they say? You know, and you can ask anybody you know that same thing. And it's very telling. It's very beautiful.
Here's the next one. Can you ask her how she taught her youngest children about virtue? Honestly, I've never really learned about them and I'm having a hard time finding resources for my toddler through elementary school age. I want to teach them what to do and why, not just what not to do.
So my thoughts on that are absolutely purchase books on virtue that will teach you virtue. Because when you read them and you learn the virtue, you will automatically be giving them to your children, and then you'll also find opportunities that will come up that you can talk to them about it.
Yeah, like saints are the perfect virtue. Like I would say, Mom really taught us, read a lot of saint books to us, and like those were the ones that really got me interested. Stories of the saints. Kids love stories, so really reading books, I think, is probably the best thing to do.
Yeah, you remember stories. Everybody remembers stories. And if there's stories that actually have, like you say, the virtue in them, you will remember that the next time you're in some kind of a situation where that story will come to mind, and it'll help you to do the right thing, to do a positive.
Yeah.
Bring more joy into the world.
Like, what would Saint so-and-so do in
this
situation? Okay, what are your thoughts on your daughter having a YouTube channel?
I think it's absolutely beautiful. In fact, because we're so far away and we live in Minnesota, I was just telling her and her husband that we often will watch one of her YouTubes when we really miss her in the family. And it's kind of not fair to her because we get our fill out. Oh, just so beautiful watching them grow up and stuff. But she doesn't get any of us back.
Yeah.
So
sometimes I won't hear from her for a while. She's like, I swear I just talked to you.
Yeah.
I'm like, you must have watched videos again, Mom.
Yeah, we do. We just absolutely love it.
Yeah.
And I absolutely think that what a gift that she is not only gotten from God as the talents and the goodness that she carries within her, but also that she gives it back out of love and time and sacrifice in many different ways.
What's your advice for new grandmas?
My advice is really important that you are very respectful of the parents and how they parent your children. And especially in today's world where a lot of grandparents are kind of kicked out of the lives of their grandchildren, you want to continually be in the life of your grandchildren to be able to have some kind of a good influence on them. You know, just in loving them, looking in their eyes every time you talk to them, and being able to bring into their lives good things. I try to find a lot of holy books and little holy toys and things like that, and I try to make that is mostly what I'll get for them for Christmas or birthday or whatever. But like I said, I always be very respectful because you always want to be a part of their life.
Yeah, I feel like you've been really good. Like, I'm sure there's things that I've messed up or the other kids have, and you always kind of let us figure it out, like, you know, and let us be the parents, not, you know, you kind of nitpicking what we should and shouldn't do.
Oh, I don't think I know what anybody else should or shouldn't do, but I am always so grateful when I see that they're working on their journey too, because none of us do it right when we first start. We just don't have the key, the tools, the whatever.
Yeah.
And but if we're always looking to grow in our holiness and faith, we're going to do better and better and better as we go along. And God is so forgiving.
Yeah.
And He's so good to us.
Yeah. And I would just say, to grandmas, on our end, like being, you know, the new mothers, I think we would love help usually. Like, you know, obviously there's boundaries and stuff, but like, if you ask, you know, like, hey, can I cook you a dinner? You know, do you want me to watch the kids? Do you go on a date? Like, I know Eric and I would love that, but we don't want to ask either. You know, like, can we go on a date? But like, no one would be better than a grandparent, you know, like, and so just little things like that, like babysitting, even though, like, what grandma wouldn't want to babysit, but like things like that are so helpful. Or even like new mothers are so exhausted to like say, hey, do you want to go take a nap? I'll come over and watch the kids, you know, like, so you can just take a nap, or, you know, you can drop them off at my place, or maybe you can pump, you know, and then I'll, you know, give the bottle to her, you know, whatever. But like, I think that is so helpful.
The other piece of that is I'll do the dishes and you sit and enjoy your children for a few minutes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I can do something that is mundane and, you know, it has to get done, cook meals or whatever.
Laundry.
But I remember when Heather had her second child and her husband, anyway, we talked about what I would like to do. I would like to cook the meals and do the dishes, and if he would put them away every morning, that works out really good. You know, if you're willing to say, I feel like I can handle this and this, what would you be willing to do this part? And yes, it was fantastic. Every morning those dishes were put away, and you know, it's not that I didn't know or couldn't learn where they went either. It was just another little piece that was both helpful for Heather and as a family whole.
Yeah.
As a whole.
Yeah, I think just communication and just let the new parents kind of lead the way, but like just gently offer, you know, can I do this to help? It's okay if you don't want help, or, you know, but like, yeah, because sometimes there can be tension there, but you just, I know that's not the intention. Okay, what are you most proud of Heather for?
Oh, I am so proud that Heather really followed God's will in even getting married, and because I know she dated a few men and they wanted to marry her, and was even engaged once, and I just am so proud that she was very patient and very knowing and really listening to herself. And God was so good in giving her specific answers to when she would pray to Him, and how, you know, she was asked to be married was very specific, and she knew. And I just am so thankful that she's such a good example in her family life, in her purity, and her goodness to all of her brothers and sisters.
How do you raise your children to stay Catholic?
Stay Catholic. Well, honestly, you can only give them so much. And I think by what I watch Heather and her husband do is a huge, huge thing, is that they take time, and even when they're young, very little time, but it increases as they get older, to kneel down and pray together as a family every single night. And I think that's really important. I mean, I know that we didn't always have that. We didn't kneel down and made sure we did a rosary every Sunday together as a family. We worked on that, and then I think as I was growing in my faith, but I know that some of them aren't going to follow their faith no matter what you do or have done. You know, you can just keep working at it and keep working at it and keep working at it in the way of, you know, one of my sons the other day, he was over and he was saying something to me, and I just, it was Mother's Day, and he was telling me how much he loved me and looking into my eyes, and I said, I just want to be in heaven with you. That's what I want. That's what all a mom wants, you know, all of her children to be in heaven with her.
Because that's eternal.
That is eternal.
Yeah.
That's what I want. And that particular son isn't a practicing Catholic. So that was just, every now and then you get those wonderful inspirations, and the right words happen to come out and everything.
Yeah.
At the right time.
Yeah, I think it's important because, you know, at a certain point, the kids are often, they have to make up their own mind that they love God and want to live their life for God. All you did for all of us was just foster that. Like, you gave us that opportunity to know Christ and love Him, and then we took it where we wanted to take it, you know. And I would say 2 of my other sisters are pretty devout, and so we have a lot to chat about. We have, like, you know, a text message. We'll text each other different things and stuff, but it's neat to know that we have each other, you know, that sisterhood, that bond, you know. And then I, you know, have other siblings who aren't in the faith, and I love them just as much, but it's deeper when you have siblings that you have that deep faith, you know, that you can share and be vulnerable with and stuff. So,
and what's so beautiful about that is that the ones that aren't in the faith, when those 3 are together and talking faith, those ones are listening. The few that aren't in the faith, they're listening and they're following. And
because we're not very shy about talking about the faith.
No need to be.
Yeah, even though, like, you know, even if we're with somebody who's not, you know, practicing, we are not shy about how we love God and
part of that is they know that their brothers were raised in the faith. So they don't have any qualms about, you know, what choice their brother might have made at this time in their life. We absolutely think that their brothers will make better choices as life goes on.
Yeah.
And as they get more ingrained in their own life, you know, even looking for a spouse or getting married, or, you know, they have to think about, do they want to get married in a church if they're not a practicing person, and they have to decide the girl they're going to marry is, you know, what do they want for themselves? And the practicing sisters are very good examples, very, very good examples of all of that.
Well, we have the prime example
Yeah.
right here. Okay, so you guys had some really awesome questions. Thank you so much, everybody, for sending in all the questions. This was a lot of fun. I'm glad that you guys asked, and I got to share my mom, who I absolutely love, and thank you so much for doing this. Yeah, this is really fun.
It is really fun.
So anyway, and till next time, I will see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.